through our relationships with one another, we can create extraordinary lives and a peaceful planet. Our vision and the opportunity for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with God, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, and most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. If you're visiting us for the first time, and I know a few of you are, it looks like you received the gifts that we like to give out. It's a shell-lay, just to remind everyone what it says. It's a shell-lay with a tag on it that says, just as God has a design for every shell in the sea, God also has a design for your life. We also hand out information about Unity in general and Unity Spiritual Center in particular. And so if any of you who are here for the first time or here for the 1 millionth time are interested in having a conversation with me about Unity, any of the concepts or anything else on your mind, please do contact me using the information that is printed on all of our printed material, because I am very happy to have those conversations with you. We are known for our hospitality spread, and I'm sure they're going to town for Mother's Day. So please do join us following the service, where we can get a chance to know you a little bit better. And as I said, please don't hesitate to contact me. If in song, please do turn off your cell phones or any other.
Everybody came from somebody, and then somebody else may have taken over from there, who knows. But whatever it is, we're all here, and we're all here because somebody helped us get here. So we're just going to sing with that in mind, and you can see what we've got going, and I'll play it for you. I could go traditional, and for a minute I thought, well, do we want to go there? Is it Thank you.
Take a vote.
Okay. All right. Good. We won't go there. That's very nice. Sounds like this. We sing for God and Mother. We sing for life and love. Our song shall reach the heavens and light the sky above. Everyone comes from someone when our life began. Next line sounds a lot like it. We were nurtured, we were loved. Someone held our hand. In this moment, let us thank you for the life we live. We have grown and we have thrived with so much more to give. We sing for God and Mother. We sing for life and love. Our song shall reach the heavens and light the sky above. Like a flower we have blossomed, reaching for the sun. We are blessed and we are grateful for all that you've done. In this moment, let us thank you, every daughter, every son, for the gift of life you gave us. We are thankful, everyone. Let's sing that everyone part again. Everyone. Getting a little bigger. One more time. Everyone. And then we sing the chorus one more time. We sing for God and Mother. We sing for life and love. Our song shall reach the heavens and light the sky above. one thing.
All right. That's ending on a high note, isn't it? So as we continue now to get comfortable in our seats and relax even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word. I am so happy that one of our best daily word readers is here in the front row. Lakshmi Crawford, would you like to read today's daily word? We would love to hear you read it. Lakshmi Crawford.
Motherly love. I express gratitude for the many channels through which motherly love flows. On this day devoted to appreciating mothers, I find it helpful to expand this energy to include the many channels through which motherly love flows into my life. Whatever my gender or personal history, motherly love is an intimate and important power in my life. It enfolds me as divine presence, and it flows to me through many channels. I experience motherly love as more than simply a warm, pleasant feeling. Today, I recognize its tremendous power in my life, expressing as guidance, understanding, and creative energy. I honor that maternal presence as I welcome every opportunity to share it with others. I express gratitude for the many channels through which motherly love flows. And a quote from Isaiah 66:13. As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Isaiah.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. We have a community prayer box that's on the table in the back, and people are always invited to leave a prayer request in the box. So let's just take a moment now, not knowing the specifics, let's just take a moment now to hold all the prayer requests that are in that box and all the prayer requests that haven't yet been written down but are in our hearts. Let's hold them in our hearts just for a moment. And let's know as we hold these that perfect love is enfolding each person represented and that divine order is taking place. The prayer requests that are placed in the box are prayed on by me and our USC prayer team for 30 days. And then we forward them to Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters, where they're prayed on for an additional 30 days. Prayer request forms are placed in the back of the sanctuary. They're printed on green paper, and they're right next to the prayer box itself. And as I said, you are always invited to fill one out and place it in the prayer box. But we also have a time in our service where we can make our prayers audible. So this is the time to offer your prayer needs to your spiritual family here so that we can stand with you and support you. So after we sing the introduction to the song that Michael will lead us through, you are invited to speak your prayer need aloud, and we will answer each prayer request by singing "Your Prayer is My Prayer Too."
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. 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 Your prayer is my prayer too.
And we also have a time during our service where we can share our blessings, those things that we're thankful for, anything that we feel particularly blessed by. This is your time to share that with your spiritual family too. grateful that Abby McGravy has a new service dog named Susie.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for the opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the feelings of connection, of peace and warmth that fill our hearts and our minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the world. And we affirm that always and in all ways, no matter what the appearances are, divine love and divine order is everywhere present. At Unity Spiritual Center, your prayer is our prayer too. Amen.
Sing along if you like. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see that there is only love. There is only love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. For there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love.
It's Mother's Day, in case you didn't know. It's Mother's Day. And I want to welcome you all here, particularly since I learned doing some social media surfing that Mother's Day can be a day that a lot of people stay away from church, from their spiritual institution, because it can be painful. So I just want to acknowledge that right now. That it can be painful for people. It can be a really mixed bag. And knowing that, a few years ago, I found a poem prayer that was written by a pastor in New Zealand. And I had gotten into the habit of saying it every Mother's Day. But last year, I found something new, something along the same vein, but it was written by Shiloh Sophia, who is an artist who I've collaborated with here. She's a teacher. She taught Caitlin Gua, whose paintings are in the sanctuary, and she's currently teaching me. I am enrolled in her year-long painting class. And Shiloh wrote this really lovely prayer, blessing, that I want to read to you today, because I think that this should touch pretty much everybody who's in the sanctuary right now. It's called A Mama Day Blessing for All Kinds of Mothers. This day, we honor and celebrate the women who have given life to us, the women who give life to ideas, the women who died giving life, the women who wanted to have a child but didn't get to, the women who right now are tilling their fertile soil for new seed. This is for the women who choose not to have a child but have many children, the women who are in captivity, the women who are free, those who were mothered well, those who had crazy mamas, because any mama that did not love you well was not well enough. This is for the women who are struggling this moment to care for their babies, and the women who right now snuggle with little ones under feather comforters. For those whose mamas have gone on, and for those who are mamas to be. For women who miscarried precious life, and those who carried many. For single mamas who want their mate, and for married mamas who want to be seen and heard. For those who never got to have a mama to hold them, and for those mamas whose children will not speak to them. For happy mamas and sad mamas and the great mama of all, and the mama who gave birth to God, and most of all, for all women and men who are in need of remothering. May we all be blessed. Pretty much covers us all, doesn't it? Yeah. So it's interesting because, as you know, if you have been here before, I work with a monthly theme. And this year we're looking at our mission statement. And so it's May, and we're looking at the fifth word in our mission statement, which happens to be dedicated. So the theme for this month is dedication, what that means. And I thought how perfect that Mother's Day falls in the month that we look at dedication. Because that's really the ideal of a mother, isn't it? It's someone who's dedicated to you. And if you look up the definition of dedication, you find that it comes from a Latin root that also means devotion, which kind of gives the word dedication a greater depth, doesn't it? So it's not only being dedicated to something, but it's being devoted to it. And possibly even seeing what you do, what you're dedicated to, as being an act of devotion, as being something that you do as an act of devotion to the power, the source, the spirit that you believe in. And many of you know, because I've talked about it before, that this Mother's Day, this sort of idealized Hallmark card holiday that we celebrate in May, has some very interesting roots. And it also gives us a different way of looking at this day of Mother's Day, because it was founded during the Civil War. It was founded, I've got the woman's name if you're interested and want to look it up. Her name was Anna Reeves Jarvis. And she called women together in her community and had them make a pact with her. You know, with great compassion and great goodwill and great courage, brought together people in her community, women in her community, and they decided that they were going to nurse soldiers on both sides. Not just their side, but soldiers on both sides of the Civil War. So that's how Mother's Day started. It's because later they sort of made this more of a proclamation of using this day where mothers could get together and say to the world, we need peace. You know, mothers having had children knew especially how painful that was to see so many men at that time die in the Civil War. So those were the seeds of Mother's Day. And then later, Julia Ward Howe, who wrote the Battle Hymn of the Republic, she added to that momentum. And she began organizing what she called Mother's Peace Day festivals. And they were celebrated annually on June 2nd. So again, her conviction was that that was something that all mothers could agree on, the importance of peace. And that's how Mother's Day started. But I thought that I would invite you all on this Mother's Day to think about this idea of mother being a verb, because mother is a verb. It's not just a noun. And as we saw in that blessing that I opened with, motherhood can be a very mixed bag for a lot of people, and it can have lots of different associations. But if you look at mother not as a noun, but as a verb, it means to nurture, to protect. That fits right in with dedication and devotion. So that's what I wanted to invite all of us to do on this Mother's Day, is to think about the people in our lives or the ideals that we hold most sacred, and to perhaps make a commitment or a vow as to being more dedicated to serving them. Because that's something that all people can do. You don't have to be a female to do that. You don't have to be a female to mother. All of us can mother. All of us, male and female, whether children are a part of our lives or not. And God knows that this world is in need of mothering, right? So that's the invitation, I think, for all of us, is to just think about those things in our life that we want to nurture, protect, that we want to serve as an act of devotion. And just out of curiosity, does anybody here have anything that comes to mind immediately? Something that you are, particularly devoted to or dedicated to serving? Is there anybody who wants to share? I'll start. I am a mother, and my daughter is here today, which is a rare thing now that she's almost 15. So, honey, would you stand up just so I can thank you for making me a mother? This is my daughter, Chloe. Okay, so sorry I embarrassed you, but that's part of a mom's job, right? So Chloe is obviously something that I'm very much devoted to, but I'm also devoted to this church. I'm also devoted to my own personal and creative growth, which is why I'm in a painting class. I'm actually devoted to quite a lot of things. To my pets, feeding them. I managed to send myself to the ER with a large cut. So there are many different kinds of things that we can be devoted to, dedicated to. Anybody else? I just threw those out to give you an example. Michael?
I have a lot of students that are in middle school or high school as music students. And when I advertise for my lessons, I advertise myself as the last-ditch attempt teacher, because it's somebody who's trying to keep their kid in music or something, and they've dropped out of every other teacher. And I've gotten these lovely notes from these mothers thanking me, because they stay with me. As I understand their problems. And that's what I'm devoted to.
You are, and you're devoted to us too, I know, and to your beautiful family. Thank you for showing us a male example of devotion. Anybody else? Yvette, I definitely want to hear from you. Can you? Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Yvette. That's a really wonderful example of how sometimes we do feel like whatever it is that we're devoted to is such a small drop in the ocean. You know, it's such a small thing. But what you said is something that's really helpful to remember, that it has a cumulative effect, that if we are tending our own patch of the garden and everybody starts tending their patch of the garden, then it does reach critical mass, or it can. So thank you for that. Judy, did you want to say something? And then I'll... Nope, that wasn't, okay. That was her knitting. All right. One last comment. Anybody else want to share something they feel? Yeah, Jody. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's, thank you also, and just want to honor you for doing that. Those of us who have cared or do care for parents, that role reversal can sometimes be a really painful thing. So that's a really wonderful thing to include in that umbrella of, you are mothering your mother, aren't you? Yeah. So there are many, many different ways to mother, as we just saw. And I know that probably the examples people gave brought up some other things for you personally, ways in which you are nurturing something, protecting something, are dedicated to something. So I want you to continue with that meditation, because sometimes we don't give ourselves the credit either for what we do. And I want to bring us full circle in this look, knowing that the exploration will continue, by sharing something with you. And this was something that was created by the woman whose blessing I began the morning with, Shiloh Sophia, who's an artist. She's a very well-known artist. And as I mentioned, she also has a training program where she teaches people, including me now, how to help people to access their own art. Because all people are creative, all people are artists, and she does this for healing and transformation. That's the bottom line behind this. It's not to make pretty pictures. It's because the creative act can heal us, transform us, and I fervently believe can be a conduit to the divine. So the story that I want to share with you is that I've known Shiloh for like 20 years, and I have always wanted one of her paintings, but she's been a very successful painter, and her paintings were way out of my price range. So I kind of gave up on the idea of having one. But as I mentioned, I'm in this training course, and during the weekend I was in Sonoma. They said, okay, well, Shiloh's paintings for her students are going to be half price. So I'm like, and I'm looking around, is there anything that I might be able to afford? But there was one painting that I really fell in love with. I mean, I fell in love with it. And I really wanted to bring it back to our spiritual center. But I'm thinking, oh gosh, it is a lot of money. I don't know, should I do it? Should I not do it? And then 2 days into this long weekend, her assistant, Shiloh's assistant, called me back. She said, Maggie, can I see you after class? And I'm like, almost 60, and I still had that, that visceral, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? So I go back after class to talk to the assistant, and she said, and she had tears in her eyes, she said, I want to tell you that someone has come forward, an anonymous donor, who wants to pay for half of that painting. And this was no small donation. And of course, I cried, just being so moved by the generosity of somebody who would do that, a stranger. So I wrote this long, well, after a night of should I accept it, should I not accept it? Wow, it's a lot of money. I went through this whole process, prayed about it, thought about it, but I know that our unity principles teach us that if you don't accept something, not only are you blocking your good, but you're blocking the good of the giver. And so in this card, this thank you card that I wrote to an anonymous person, I said, I joyfully accept your gift, and I promise you that I will pay it forward. I promise you that I will gift that same amount of money to someone who happens to cross my path. And perhaps through that act of, through your act of generosity and me paying it forward, we can create a legacy that celebrates your golden heart. So that's the thing about dedication, devotion, generosity, is that it inspires others to do the same thing. So on this Mother's Day, when we are looking at dedication, I want to dedicate this painting to our community. Now, when I go, she's going too. I'm not that generous, but as long as I'm here, she will be here as well. I think I'm going to put her directly across from Jesus, and here she is. When we look at her, we can remember this idea of being dedicated to something, of being devoted to something, of mothering something. We can be reminded of generosity and the reproductive quality of generosity. When someone is generous to you, what do you want to do? You want to share too, because you're so touched. So that's what I'm hoping she'll be a symbol to all of us for. And may we all find what it is in our lives, whether human or animal or art or spiritual or political, whatever it is, institutional, may we all find those things in our lives that we want to mother so that we truly can create that critical mass, that beautiful world of love and generosity that we all want to live in. And so it is. Thank you, God. So, as as Kelly turns down the lights. I want to give you the opportunity to go a little deeper with this idea. So let us begin by reminding ourselves of who we really are, starting with singing, "We Are Holy," moving to "You Are Holy," and then finishing with "I Am Holy."
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy.
So, if you haven't already, I invite you just to relax in your seat. Just feel yourself being held by the seat back. Take a couple slow, deep breaths. And if you haven't done it already, close your eyes. And just let that soft music draw you deeper inside yourself. Deeper and deeper within. And now that you are in a relaxed position, I invite you to imagine yourself in a place where you feel completely safe, completely restful, completely at peace. And as you imagine yourself becoming so comfortable in that safe and peaceful place, I invite you to think of a mother figure in your own life, someone who represents love and nurturance to you. Now, this might be your own mother, the woman who brought you into this world, or it might be another person who loved you like a mother, believed in you, and nurtured you. Feel your gratitude for all she did for you, for the ways in which she nurtured you, for the many things she taught you, for the ways in which she encouraged you to be your best. And just hold her in your heart and give her love. And know now that the expression of that divine mother principle is in you. Whether you are male or female, it is part of your connection with the divine. So remember the ways in which you felt nurtured and loved, and extend those feelings out to others. right now. Just send those warm feelings of belonging out to others. And take a few moments to really anchor that feeling of being enfolded in mother love. The love you experienced from a human being, which is a taste of the love of God. And as you rest in this wonderful, warm feeling of love and nurturance, ask yourself how you might pay it forward, how you might offer that same devotion, generosity, kindness, love to someone or something else. Know that Mother, Father, God the good, has always been with you, will always be with you, and is with you right now. Know that you can be the heart and hands of God by sharing your dedication, your devotion with others. And now, knowing that you can return to that beautiful feeling of safety, of peace, of love at any time you choose. Begin to gently bring your awareness back to this room, back to this place and time. Allow yourself to stretch, beginning with your fingers and your feet. Take a few slow, deep breaths, and when you're ready, come back to waking awareness and open your eyes. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. Please join with me in saying them aloud together. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are: we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in this space, feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced here today and what we are about to experience, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we will be tithing 10% of the offering collected today to Unity World Headquarters and Habitat for Humanity. So let us take a moment now to bless our tithes and love offerings, holding them in our hands or next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Every day you were somebody's child. Share your love, let it grow in the wild. Change a life just because you have smiled. Every day you are somebody's child. Life begins with a baby's cry. I know for a fact that it's true. You won't remember, although you can try. It's just the mothers who do, who tied your shoes, taught you to dance, set you free when you needed to fly. Give her a call and drop her a line before too much time passes by. For every day you were somebody's child. Share your love, let it grow in the wild. Change a life just because you have smiled. Every day you are somebody's child. Moments get lost in a sea of time, and a forest is mist for the trees. Change is made with the help of a dime, and a door unlocked with the keys. So bless every minute, bless every hour, and thank God for the air that you breathe. Then give this day to the woman who bore you, and I'm sure that you will believe that every day you are somebody's child. Share your love, let it grow in the wild. Change a life just because you have smiled. Every day you are somebody's child. Blessings that are in our church this very moment. We open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that are ours to choose. We are filled with a mighty faith that empowers and frees us to live our divine purpose and serve our community with excellence. And so it is. Amen.
Who is giving service today, including our ushers, Kelly Beal and Craig Beal, our greeter, Kathleen Russell, Marcy Guzman, who makes these beautiful slides and runs them in the back. Rosa and Candy, I know, have left the sanctuary because they are creating something delicious for you to eat. And in the children's church, they're about to come out. I know that Linda McCabe was our volunteer today. So let's give all of them a big round of applause for serving our community. and just have a few announcements. We had a wonderful Enneagram workshop last week that Jerry, our center manager, led. And he is going to open it up if you were not able to attend last week, but you would like to attend next week, which is when we're going to have the concluding part. He will allow you to come in. He'll kind of help you get up to speed. So if you do want to attend that, it's going to be starting at 12:30 next Sunday. It's really great. He's bringing up some wonderful material. So contact him at the office if you weren't able to come and would like to come next week. We also are having our famous annual Memorial Day weekend barbecue hosted by John and Tony and contributed to with his cooking skills, Ron Willis. And it's always a great, fun time. It's a wonderful way for our community to come together and eat and party together. There is a sign-up sheet in the back, so please do sign up for anything you can bring, side dish, chips, ice, dessert and drinks are all fair game, and do plan on joining us on the 27th for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And finally, our main newsletter is out, so if you didn't get a copy last week or when Kelly was catching you at the door, we do have a few more copies, so you can find out what's going on for the rest of the month, and also a sneak preview of some of the things that we'll be offering in June. So with that, we're going to bring in our kids.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful moms in the audience. Today we did a very special activity for the moms. The kids did specialized cards with a very special set of questions that Linda brought over, and then a little surprise in the bag that I can't give away. I have to wait. So Linda wanted to just give a little example of the questions.
Yours are going to be a surprise in your treat bag, but these are Adam's answers. You'll notice they're from a couple of years ago. What is your mom's name? My mom's name is Linda. How old is she? She is 5 years old. What is her favorite treat? Chocolate. Her favorite color is purple. What does she do all day? She makes people feel better by asking them questions. What does she do for you? Make stuff like blocks. What kind of present would you buy her? For a grown-up present, she likes a type of crackers. I would buy her that. How much does she love you? Very, very much. How much do you love her? Very full. What makes her special? Playing. Your own answers.
We had a lot of fun with these, so I hope you do too.
Well, thank you so much. And let's bless our children.
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our
step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. All right, I'm disappearing to the Fairmont to play for the I'm disappearing to the Fairmont to play for the lovely ladies who lunch. I think there's a set of two different styles of it that really doesn't matter. The first is probably the way to go. There was a spot that was there, it's down by